atheistic, they are stopping capital punishment. That is not wise. Herein it is said that a physician who knows how to diagnose a disease prescribes medicine accordingly. If the disease is very serious, the medicine must be strong. The weight of a murderer's sin is very great, and therefore, according to Manu Samhita, a murderer must be killed. By killing a murderer, the government shows mercy to him, because if a murderer is not killed in this life, he will be killed and forced to suffer many times in future lives. Since people do not know about the next life and the intricate workings of nature, they manufacture their own laws, but they should properly consult the established injunctions of the Shastras and act accordingly. In India, even today, the Hindu community often takes advice from expert scholars regarding how to counteract sinful activities. In Christianity also there is a process of confession and atonement. Therefore, atonement is required, and atonement must be undergone according to the gravity of one's sinful acts. The verse again. Tasma puraivasya papa niskrita yate mrito avipatyat yatatmana. Dosasya tristva golagamam yata bishakshikitse tarucham nidam navit. Therefore, before one's next death comes, as long as one's body is strong enough, one should quickly adopt the process of atonement according to Shastra. Otherwise, one's time will be lost, and the reactions of his sins will increase. As an expert physician diagnoses and treats a disease according to its gravity, one should undergo atonement according to the severity of one's sins. Amahyana timandasya jansa salaka sakshun meditam yena tasmai shivai nama. Chichetanyamanobistam staptam yena bhutale svayam rapakadamyam dadati sva padantikam. Vandeyam shiru shiyuda padkamalam shirum vaishnavam sha shirupam jagajatam saganaraganatam vitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadutam parjana saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakanalita Shivashakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Charatpate Gopesha Gopra Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhani Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripriya Pankha Kalptra Vishakhe Pasinave Vishapadnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Gaurupani Pacharani Nirvishesha Singhavati Pachkachai Desatarani. Hare Krishna. Time is running quickly. Time is running from life to life. It was in 94 the first time that I was in Golokadam, 94. And the Mangalarti was on the second floor because they were constructing here in the temple. And Prithu Prabhu gave the lecture. He was one of the speakers. My Guru Maharaj was here, Bhakti Charamaj. And Prithu Prabhu was sitting on this Vyasa-san, but it has been refurbished. Interesting. Time runs. I want to start with a question to you. Does any one of you ever had made jigsaw puzzles, 1,000 pieces? You get a box, yeah? What are the methods you use to make the puzzle? Outside to inside. First the borders. Well, the method, and then other methods?
Personally, like, you can get an idea of where the pieces go by the colors on the box. There's a picture, and the colors on the box, you can match them up with the colors on the
Yes.
And you sort them by sorting.
That is a good method. You get a box and there's a picture.
Yeah.
And you take the piece and a magnifying glass and you find where it, right?
Yes.
That's one method. So that's what this verse is about. See the big picture and not the piece. See the big picture. This life, our present lifetime, is only a piece from the big picture. That we get this body because of our past activities. And our past activities were not Krishna conscious. Activities which are not Krishna conscious are producing bodies. And I think in the beginning of the 8th chapter, Arjuna is asking that, what is karma? Or karma. Karma are activities that producing future bodies. And these karmic activities are based on envy of Krishna, because they are based on I and mine. This is mine, but everything belongs to Krishna. It's based on envy. So this body is a symbol, is a proof of our envy. That is, if you have a body, you have been envious of Krishna. Otherwise, you don't get a body. Now that goes, we get a body according to our past activities. We were the architect of this body. But unfortunately, people in this age, prayanalpayusa savla, kala pasmin shugejana, manda semanda matayo manda bhagya yupadruta. People are unfortunate in this world. They see, they are short-sighted. What does it mean, short-sighted? Without my glasses, I see only what's short by. I'm short-sighted. Is it that what it means? No. Short-sighted means I see only the moment now, and I don't see the big picture. And that's our problem. We see the moment now, enjoying, but we don't see that it's strive for enjoying means exploiting, and that we are creating future suffering. So, becoming Krishna conscious means learning to see the bigger picture. If we don't see the bigger picture, then we cannot act for our own benefit. Therefore, everything we do, before we do it, we have to think, will that please my spiritual master? Will that please Krishna before every action? That's important for all of us. Be concerned about the consequences of your actions. That's That means being responsible, being concerned about the results of your action. So, but most people are short-sighted. And they want to be short-sighted. They want enjoyment now, not seeing the big pictures. Animals see only the moment now. Where is food? Where is food? Where is food? They are not concerned about the results of their actions. And most people are also not concerned about the results of their actions. By hook and crook, enjoy now. That's the message. You live only once, enjoy. That is foolishness. And that's why people in this age are unfortunate. Now, in this verse that we are discussing today, it is said that a murderer should be hanged. Capital punishment. For those who see only the piece of the puzzle and not the broader picture, this looks cruel. And they have been debating about capital punishment. Like in some countries it's forbidden. That in the UK, no capital punishment. That there's one exception. Treason, those who are not loyal to the state and become spies, then capital punishment is still there for them. But otherwise, in America, in some states, it is there still, some states not. But they have been debating about it. Capital punishment. If there is capital punishment, then a murderer will not refrain to commit a second murder, a third murder. It's just all the same price, you are going to be killed. Therefore, they say it's not good capital punishment, and they have so many arguments. But they don't see the bigger picture. The very kings, they applied capital punishment, and that was for the benefit of the murderer, because he would pay immediately for his murder. Otherwise, he would get, in next lives, he would be murdered. He gets the reaction. It's paid, done. So it's for his benefit. And that is what Srila Prabhupada explains on this here, this principle, seeing the bigger picture. Srila Prabhupada gave 3 lectures of this verse we are discussing today. 3 lectures. And he speaks about these general principles. He says clearly, every action which is not Krishna conscious is sinful. Is sinful. Because it's based on envy of Krishna. That is based on trying to become happy in this world. And trying to become happy in this world means I'm going to exploit the resources of this world and others for my enjoyment. And then the law of karma comes in. It's like you have, without desire, we choose. We choose, we have a red and a blue button. The blue button is Krishna's color. So if we push the blue button, we want to please Krishna. And if we desire not to please Krishna, then we put a red button. And the red button activates the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature. And we come under control of the three modes of material nature. The blue button, the Krishna conscious button, is the way to freedom. It's difficult to understand for people. We are following these four regulative principles, and people say to us, you are not free. Your religion says you have to do that. We are free, we can do what we want. In Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada speaks about these regulative principles, and he speaks about the regulative principles of freedom. Freedom. It gives us control over our mind. That's a big freedom. Otherwise, you are the slave of your mind. But it starts all with our desire. With our desire, we put the red or the blue button. So which button are we going to push? Mostly we want to push both at the same time. That's called sahaja, cheap. And it doesn't work. You will not become purified if you try to enjoy this world and enjoy spiritual life at the same time. That does not work. That's called sahaja. Therefore, purity in desire. That's important. What do we desire? It's a good inner reflection. What I'm planning to do today. I'm going to do this, that, and that. And is it for me or for Krishna? What I'm doing for me, what for Krishna? I'm doing it for Krishna, but I want also to enjoy. But one can come up with the argument, yes, but that's what we want, to enjoy. Yes, but we don't know what's real enjoyment. Enjoyment of the soul. We never experienced it. We are busy with giving pleasure to a body. And that's an activity for nothing. That Krishna says in the Gita, one who lives for the pleasure of the senses lives for nothing. That is because at the end the body is gone. So you are cheated. The material energy is cheating you. That's Krishna says in the Gita, amongst the cheaters I'm gambling. I'm the greatest cheater, he says. Nobody can cheat me. And he cheats everyone in this world with the illusory energy. But why does he do that? Because they push the wrong button with their desire. Then you must be cheated, because pushing the red button means I want to be the controller. I want to control. But who is a controller? Krishna is a controller. He's controlling everything in this world. But we want to think that we are the controller. And therefore these three modes are there. They make you think you are in control of your destiny. But nobody is under control of your destiny. But we know, if we take the Krishna consciousness, then our future will be bright. Yesterday, we discussed yesterday evening at this point that, yes, if I don't re-establish my relationship with Krishna, if I don't realize it before I leave this body, but even if we don't, there is no reason to be not optimistic in Krishna consciousness. If Srila Prabhupada said, if we come to the Madhyam platform, the platform of liberation, or nearly liberation, then our next birth will be already spiritual. You may not have developed fully love of Godhead, but what happens? Krishna will arrange that you take birth in a universe where he has his pastimes. And there you will participate in his pastimes. And you will be trained up further by Krishna's eternal associates. So there is evidence from that in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That the Munichari gopis, who were munis, great sages in Lord Ram's pastime. And they wanted a relationship with Lord Ram in conjugal love. But Lord Ram said, I cannot give you that in my present incarnation. Eka Patni, one wife, Sita, that's it. But when I come at the end of Dvapara Yuga, then you can have such a relationship with me. When I come as Krishna. So that's beautiful. So one is further trained up. And one takes already part in the pastimes of Krishna. But do we have to wait for our next birth for that? No. We are presently in Lord Chaitanya's movement. And his pastime is a spreading of Krishna consciousness. And if we take part actively in his preaching mission, we are part of his pastimes. And then Lord Chaitanya will be very merciful to us. Because, again, seeing that bigger picture, how do I get Krishna conscious? What's the shortcut to become Krishna conscious every moment? Is to give Krishna consciousness to others. If you give it away, you get it. And that's spiritual mathematics. And that's wonderful. Because that pleases Krishna and he gives you the realization within your heart. Therefore, in our movement, this preaching spirit is very important. Should not be lost. That devotees, if they make plans, how to spread Krishna consciousness, then Krishna's mercy is guaranteed. Lord Chaitanya's mercy will be there. And Lord Chaitanya's mercy is very important for all of us. We cannot worship Radha, Madan, Mohan with the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. We cannot worship Radha Krishna without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Because it's Lord Chaitanya who opened the door to Goloka Vrindavan. Before it was closed, they were worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, but Radha Krishna worship is Goloka Vrindavan. That's the highest. That's interesting. We are in Kali Yuga. It's the most degraded age. But we get access by Lord Chaitanya to something what was not available before. And that is conjugal love. The mood of the 6 Goswamis. They were serving in the mood of the gopis. That was not available before. But here in this verse, Sukadev Goswami speaks this verse to Maharaj Pariksit. And the system of atonement that he proposes is for karma kanda. Counteract pious activities with impious activities. Counteract impious activities with the performance of pious activities and karma kanda, and that's mentioned in the Dharma Sastras, the Manu Samhita. It's all there. Sukracharya, he was also expert in it. He was the expert in karma kanda because he was instructing the demons how to enjoy in this world in a religious way and enjoy more and more without having to suffer. That's knowledge. But it's not for devotees. Devotees do not need to perform atonement. That's not necessary. This prayachita is attained just by the performance of devotional service, automatically. So therefore, Maharaj Pariksit will protest hereafter. He will tell his spiritual master, but that's good, but it does not work, the whole system here. Because why are they doing sinful activities? It's because of their desire. And this prayachita, this atonement, does not change their desire. It does not change their desire. They do the sinful activities, they do atonement, and then they do it again. There is no end to it. There is no reformation of the heart. There is no rectification. It's just getting rid of the reactions. And also impersonalists, Mayavadis, Jnanis, they perform austerities to get purified and get rid of these reactions. But their desire does not change. The same thing with the yogis. They're performing this Ashtanga yoga system, a mechanistic system to purify the mind and the heart. It takes many lifetimes. But their desire does not change. What do most jnanis, what do they want? They want to merge with Brahman, and most yogis also. Or they want mystic powers. And by that they don't have access to the spiritual world. Access to the spiritual world is gained when the heart is pure, and it's only gained by ananya bhakti, unalloyed devotional service, by nothing else. And that is the point that Maharaj Pariksit will bring up. And then of course Sukadev Goswami will say Keshit Kevala Bhaktya, yes, unalloyed devotional service. That is the only thing that will rectify the mind, will change our mind. Changing from I and mine to giving. Only giving to please the beloved, which is Krishna, and also his part and parcels. But that desire to give pleasure to others and not to me is rare in this world. But because it's not there, or it's very rare in this world, people are suffering in their relationships. Because relationships are based on I and mine. I like him, I like her. But in the heart still it is, yes. You give to me and I take from you. That's the point. And such relationships do not work. They are troublesome. It's in a mode of passion. In the beginning nice, but then later problematic. If we want good relationship, we have to focus on only giving. But of course, best is to have relationships with devotees who understand these principles. So then relationships become very pleasurable if there is no attachment. So then these relationships, spiritual relationships, we read about them in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's what we are discussing in our evening seminars, all these relationships, so that we understand, we get a glimpse of what it is, a spiritual relationship. A glimpse, what is it? And by that glimpse, we understand what the goal is, and can work toward that. But it starts with this basic knowledge explained here. See the bigger pictures first. The bigger picture is that on the material level, all what we experience in this lifetime, all the circumstances that we go through, they are predestined. That's already arranged. And the result is already fixed. Nothing you can do about it. There is one thing you can do about it, is how you react to it. If you understand the bigger picture, then you see why the things happen. Oh, this person is nice with me, so I must have been nice with someone else in the past. Or if this person is dishonoring me, I must have dishonored someone else. So the fault lies in me, and Krishna is so kind to teach me to bring this. So that's our inner attitude, how we react to it if we see the bigger picture. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, if you come to the point of surrendering to Krishna and follow his instructions in Bhagavad Gita and try to become a devotee, just try to become a devotee, your karma will still be there. But Krishna will change it and use it in such a way that It teaches you to give up your attachment and to become more attached to you. And that's beautiful. Krishna is so merciful that how he does that. One can say, yes, Krishna teaches us, and giving up the attachment is painful. Yes, it's painful. Purification of the heart is painful. But you experience pain to never suffer again. Because once the attachment is gone, you are free. So these are general principles and what Krishna inspired me to say on this verse. Any question or comment? Yes, Paul.
Thank you. I have a question about the last sentence in the commentary. Could you please read it one more time, please?
Last sentence in the commentary. Therefore, atonement is required, and atonement must be undergone according to the gravity of one's sinful acts.
Is there any consideration given for the individual's circumstances? Like, for example, in a court, the judge is given the liberty to present a sentence that is varying according to the particular circumstances of the criminal. Like if the criminal was not really having much of a choice because of the criminal's upbringing, or perhaps lack of experience, like a child would not be tried the same way as a more experienced adult, for example.
Yes, Krishna is in the heart. He knows our circumstances. He knows everything. So his judgment is perfect. You get the karma you deserve. But one point I want to say is this last sentence, which I read again, must be seen in the context here and not taken out of context. That it's true, the atonement must be done before we leave our body. But for us, the atonement is devotional service. It's automatically achieved. We don't endeavor for these things separately. If you engage in devotional service, then that is automatically achieved. So it's just something to be careful. Things, Shastra must be seen in the context here. And the context here is karma kanda and the jnanis, but not devotees. That is the context, because Maharaj Pariksit will protest against that. So that's very important to understand, but still it is true what's there. It's also valid for devotees, but the method is different of atonement. It's just the performance of devotional service is the atonement. It's included. That's okay. Good. Good. Thank you very much. So, any more questions? Yeah. Yeah. That's okay.
The first one is you spoke in the beginning of. Thank you. You spoke in the beginning when we are in this consciousness of I and mine. That means we are envious of Krishna. And I somehow cannot understand how, because at least I can see in my life, I'm happy that Krishna enjoys, and sometimes I might want to enjoy this or that. I'm not thinking I'm not envious of Krishna. It's not because I'm envious of Krishna I try to enjoy something. And I don't know how you connect the two, this envy of Krishna and trying to enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That the point is that if we try to enjoy without Krishna, we come under the law of karma. Without Krishna. But we offer our food to Krishna, and then can you say, we say we honor prasad, right? We are not really enjoying it, but we are enjoying it also, because it's a meditation on how Krishna tasted the prasad, and it's very enjoyable. So this enjoyment must be done in a Krishna-conscious atmosphere. And we find proof of that in the Bhagavatam, in the life of Swayambhuva Manu. He enjoyed so much, but also always in a Krishna-conscious atmosphere. He organized, he liked to see dramas, but he organized dramas only on Krishna's pastimes. And he enjoyed so much that, So that is a question to dovetail all what we do with Krishna. So Krishna is the enjoyer, we are also enjoyers, but we are secondary enjoyers. We don't enjoy without Krishna. Then it becomes material enjoyment. But yes, I had experience when we moved this, when I joined this movement, I got higher enjoyment than before. The food was the best food, always a clean life. Nice. The relationships were much more nicer with the devotees. That's enjoying life. So Krishna consciousness is the best investment. It's also, in the Bhagavad Gita, a devotee is not bereft of the results of austerities and so on. No, we get that also, but not without Krishna. Always connected with Krishna. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the second question, yeah?
When we speak about atonement, it seems one of the factors of atonement is first to realize we did something wrong, and the desire to not do something wrong anymore. And I think in the scriptures we have a lot, often is mentioned that when we do sinful activities like this, we should have regret. We should not just say, oh, no problem, I just have Krishna. Would you like to comment a little bit on this part of regretting sinful activities? Is it necessary or not?
When Maharaj Pariksit offered Samika Rishi a garland of a dead snake, and he went out, he understood he did something wrong. And I felt great guilt. And he started to pray to Krishna that please let the reaction come. Let it come to me alone, not to my family. Please give me the reaction. I want to get rid of this. He felt great guilt. So if a devotee does something wrong, automatically he feels great guilt. Because the heart is pure, then that's a spiritual advanced person. If something goes wrong, he first thinks the fault lies in me. And that is, the fault lies in me. Mm-hmm. So, but when a materialistic person, then that guilt may be there, in some sense. Because Krishna is in the heart. Even for materialistic persons, if they do something wrong, they feel in the heart horrible. But their sense of the full light lies in me, usually not there. They are suffering. They don't feel guilty really in their heart. That's all these people who eat meat, you think they feel guilty afterwards? No. And that's the problem. And that's a good point you are making. To change the heart, we must feel that guilt and feeling, yes, I did something. I did nonsense. Please forgive me, Krishna. And that's part of our process of the change of heart. Like I said, this body is a sign of envy of Krishna. So we got this body. And we pray to Krishna, please, I've done wrong things. I forgot you. I was thinking myself the enjoyer, and please forgive me. I want to become your servant again. Please help me. Then Krishna will help. If we are sincere in heart, that's part of the process of sincerity. If that's not there, we are in trouble. Does that help? Yeah? Thank you. Yes.
Hi Krishna, His Excellency, thank you very much for talking about suffering and relationships. You said because they are based on I and mine, and I often thought about how is it in devotee relationships, or how can devotee relationships be successful? If I take the example, both have the intention to put Krishna into the center of the relationship, and both have some life experience also, not so the very young people, but somehow there must some attraction, because you said the relationship is then in passion because I like you, you give me this. Isn't it also in the devotee relationship? How can a devotee relationship be successful?
Putting yourself in the center is material consciousness. And it's acting out of false ego, thinking we are the body. But the word false ego implicates that there is a real ego, a real I, and a real mind. And mind means attachment. And the resident of Vrindavan, we discussed that in the evening, they have a very strong sense of mind, mameti. Krishna is mine. It's all centered about, their mind is all about Krishna. Krishna is mine, this is my Krishna. And that's mameti. So that distinction we have to learn, that there is a real I, and that I is a part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore I'm Krishna's servant. And this service to Krishna connects me with Krishna. And can say, yes, Krishna is mine. And we have a right to say that, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And that's the real ego. And that, yes. and learning to see how other devotees are serving Krishna so nicely, appreciating that will make the relationships very beautiful. That appreciating the service of others. Never talk about yourself. Something we also try to achieve, and we need the mercy, and we can cooperate together to make advancement. Learn to appreciate others' service, that then cooperate and tolerate, and then we create beautiful relationships. Then we become happy, even here in this material world, without attachment to the body. That if we realize we are not a body, we are not afraid to leave it every moment, but we are afraid because of attachment, false attachment related to the false ego. It's a long process, but it's a powerful process, the process of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Is that okay?
Krishna, thank you very much. If you allow, can I ask a second
Yeah.
question? And is it for us devotees, is our karma, our destiny fixed, or does Krishna makes adjustments during our purification process, or is everything already fixed for us? What service we will have, or
from the first day that you take to Krishna consciousness, Krishna start to use your karma to purify you. That it may look the same karma astrologically, but Krishna uses it in a way that you will understand, and he will test you. And sometimes severe tests. That someone asked Srila Prabhupada, will Krishna test us? Srila Prabhupada said yes. And then the devotee asked, and will the tests become bigger and bigger? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, once you pass the test, you pass the test. No more test. So that's the point. We have to come to that point. And the point that there are no tests anymore is Nishtha, liberation. Then after that it goes very quickly. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Good. Shantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.